lovies, it's Cherie. I'm here to do my first Q&A video and I'm so excited about this video. You guys really stepped up to the bat and just gave me some awesome questions and I love how involved you are. All of the questions were really good. Some of them are really deep and I'm super impressed and I love these kind of things. So I'm going to jump right in because there's quite a lot of questions that I didn't think I was going to get so many, so I don't want to make this video 100 hours long, but thank you guys so much for participating and I'm going to answer all your questions now. If I murder your name, I deeply apologize. I'm terrible at pronouncing things, so forewarning, I love you. I'm sorry I don't know how to say your name correctly. We're going to start off on Instagram. The first question is from AlyssaCan16. If you could only buy from one makeup brand for the rest of your life, which one would you choose? Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. I would probably say Silk Naturals because I really trust their products and ingredients, and I love that they dupe a lot of mainstream makeup brands that I really like. So they have a lot of like MAC dupes and like or YSL or whatever. They have a lot of high-end MAC dupes and dupes that I like, and I love their foundations and powders and skincare. You can get everything you need at Silk Naturals, and their prices are amazing. The next question is from Miss Baldman11. What is your best advice for someone who wants to start vlogging, camera, lights, etc.? My best advice is to test it out first. Before you invest in any like cameras or lighting, you know, film on your phone, film on your iPad, see how comfortable you are in front of the camera, because it's not as easy as it may seem to put yourself on the internet out there. When I started, I filmed on my iPad and I didn't have any lighting. I just sat in front of a window, and now I do have a nicer camera, but I still don't have professional lighting. I just have this giant vintage, what are those things called? Lamp! Brain fog! I just have a giant vintage lamp, and I'm still always experimenting with lighting. But, you know, I would suggest just don't invest a whole lot of money into things unless you're really positive you want to get into this. And I will list down in the down bar what kind of camera I use. It's not the most expensive one, but it has all the features that I needed. So I'm cost effective up in her. So get out there and do it. I think it's super fun. You're gonna love it. Organic Beauty Junkie asks, if you were a lipstick, what color would you be? That is easy. I would be a vibrant, I would be a deep, but also vibrant, possibly glittery, vintage red. I love red lipstick. I cannot get enough red lipstick. I own all of the red lipsticks. So I would definitely be red lipsticks. Let's have some coffee. Non-Toxic Voyage, love you, asks, what made you convert to cruelty-free and natural products? Well, what started it was, you know, my husband and I got into more sustainable living, and we started kind of thinking about starting a family, and I was like, well, you know, I'm putting a lot of, I've made most of my life natural, but I'm still buying like these really bad for me products. I didn't know there were so many natural options out there. I really just knew the mall and the drugstore. And so I got on social media like Instagram, and I met Celia, the Homespun Mom here on YouTube, and she really like influenced me to kind of be more conscious of what I was putting on my skin. And then it was like a snowball from there. I just met all these wonderful girls who were so knowledgeable and really kind of helped me along. I still use, you know, traditional products as long as they are cruelty-free. I'm going to do a whole video on cruelty-freeness sometime coming up soon, but I guess what got me into cruelty-free is I never really thought about the fact that animals were still being used. I just, as a consumer, that's not something that was in the forefront of my mind. I honestly thought that like animal testing was something from the 80s. I had no idea, and then once I started investigating it and getting to know girls who had been investigating it and were fighting the fight, it just kind of made me a little more conscious about where I put my dollars. Keen Kel asks, what you gonna do with all that junk inside your trunk? I'm gonna get you drunk, get you love drunk off my humps. But no, she asked me, would you ever consider a meet and greet for those of us who travel through Georgia or live in the area, coffee house style? I would love to do that. I don't know if I have enough people who would want to meet and greet me in real life. But you know, one day I think that would be super cool to do. I'm not opposed to meeting and greeting. Through Mellow Eyes, I'm saying that right? What's your best advice for staying on the wagon while being gluten-free? Oh, goodness, girl. I ain't got no advice for that. My wagon drops its wheels off daily. I'm actually off the wagon. I've been off the wagon for like a week. It's hard, man. But I guess the best advice is when I'm on the wagon is I try and tell myself this is not forever. You know, I will be allowed to have like those traditional yummies at like family gatherings that I love, or I might allow myself a cheat day. You know, the struggle is real. It's really hard to cut an entire thing out of your diet, especially if you are a baker like me, like I love to bake, or if you just like to eat things like I do. Her second question is, why don't you like belly buttons? I had to ask that one after I watched your 50 fun facts. I don't like belly buttons. First of all, they're ugly. Okay, I don't like how like wrinkly and like balloon tip-esque they are. It's like your baby food hole. I don't know. I feel like it's a thin piece of skin, and if you poke it too hard, like your finger is gonna be in someone's intestines. I don't know. When people touch mine, I get like all wiggly about it. I just don't like them. I think they're dirty and they're ugly and they're scary. Mini Station asks, what's the scariest thing that's ever happened on your farm? It was more of a hearing something, not seeing something. But when we moved out here, I was not aware of all of the critters that want to eat your critters that there are out there in this world. And one night this summer, my husband and I are laying in bed, like playing on our phones, and we have the windows open because it feels really good. And our window in our master bedroom faces the chicken coops. They're like right there, like Elvis, our rooster, wakes us up every morning. And we just heard this ungodly sound. It sounded like babies, like a pile of babies were being murdered. And I was like, what is that? I thought aliens had landed and were like attacking our field. And I was like, what is that? And my husband like jumps up because he's so excited. And he's like, it's coyotes! When coyotes get together and they like smell food, they like alert each other with these screams they are terrifying. And when there's a group of them, like you can just imagine in your brain like this group of critters like tearing you to pieces, and you can hear all their feet like running and like pounding the ground. It's really scary. Like we couldn't see them because it was pitch black and they were in the field, but we could hear the screaming and like the running. It was frightening. They didn't get any of our chickens, thank goodness, but oh my god, we were frightened. Non-Toxic Voyage asks, what top 3 brands of makeup would you recommend? Like you could not live without them. I couldn't live without Red Apple Lipstick. I love all of their shadows and lipsticks and mascara and products. I probably couldn't live without Silk Naturals because again, you know, so many things. And then I probably couldn't live without Natural Face. I have a whole lot of their products too. I have a little bit of everything of theirs, and I really like their products. Non-Toxic Voyage asks, what is your favorite dessert that contains chocolate? Legit, I am on the hunt for some chocolate goodies. My husband and I have been really into s'mores lately because we had all those leftovers from camping, so I've been making like oven s'mores, you know, on the weekends or whatever. I really love this dessert that I have yet to be able to find, but there's a restaurant here in Georgia. I don't know if they have them everywhere, but they're called Po Folks, or they used to be. Now they're called Folks. But they had this dessert that was like I thought they called it a Mississippi mud pie, but when I look up those recipes, it's not what it is. But it's like a pie crust, and then it's full of this like fudgy, squishy, delicious brownie sort of chocolate, and then it's topped with whipped cream, and then they serve it hot with like a scoop of ice cream. That is like, like I want all of that in my face all the time. What made you decide to go all TJMD97 asks, what made you decide to go all natural with your makeup and your life? I kind of touched on that a little bit before, but I think what started it is when I met my husband. He was into gardening, and I had always been interested in that sort of stuff, but I just lacked the skills and like time to like invest in learning how to do it. And then the more we got into it together, the more I started, you know, doing, you know, making my own things and trying not to buy stuff from the store, and, you know, making all of our food fresh and seeking it out and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where it started, and then it just sort of snowballed. Tiny Owl Toes, which I just love her name. Your house is on fire. Your hubs and your pets are safe, but you can only grab 3 things. What are they? I would grab my photos. I have a lot of pictures, like actual in albums pictures from like high school and up. I just love, I mean, I love Instagram and stuff like that, but I just love holding a photo album and looking through the memories. And then I would grab all my journals. I have kept journals since I was in like 1st or 2nd grade, so some of them are really hilarious. So I would grab all my journals because those are unreplaceable. And then I would probably grab my like sentimental family heirloom jewelry. I have like a jewelry box that all of like my great grandmother and my grandmother's jewelry is in. So I would grab that because that's irreplaceable. Michaela D? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so bad at that. I have coffee with you every morning. You have a new video up. I use 1 million calories worth of Coffee Mate French creamer. How do you take your coffee? I love that you have coffee with me. Let's do it every day. I use the So Delicious Coconut Vanilla Creamer. It tastes like traditional creamer, but it's dairy free. Sometimes I use the So Delicious Chocolate Mint milk flavor that they just came out with. It tastes like a mocha. And then if I'm just don't have either one of those, or I'm just trying to stick to something a little less sugared up, I will use just straight up coconut milk, which is just as good. I get the one from Trader Joe's that's in the green can. And then I always use half a tablespoon in each cup of sugar, and so sugar and cream it up, girl. Love that, Lippy. Lots of personal questions. How old are you? I'm 31. What do you do professionally? Right now I'm not doing anything. I used to be nanny. I used to nanny for many, many years. But now that we live out this far, all of the nanny jobs that pay you anything worth what you're worth are in Atlanta. So I'm not really doing anything work-wise. I am trying to get my Etsy shop up, so I've been like sewing like crazy and trying to get things to put in there for you guys to go and look at. So I take care of the farm, and I take care of my house, and I YouTube. What are your hobbies? Lots of things. I love to garden and bake and crochet and YouTube and makeup, and I love to read. I love to watch movies. I love dark comedies and like horror movies and dramas, and I mean, I like funny stuff too, but I mostly like stuff that makes you think. I've been really into documentaries lately. What else? We love to hike. I love to camp. We camp all the time. I love to camp. I wish we could camp every weekend. Are you a vegetarian? Because I notice a lot of cruelty-free info in your social media. I am not a vegetarian. I would say I'm a traditional. We're traditional eaters. I try and incorporate, as much homemade stuff as I can. Try and limit the processed stuff. We buy our meat from local farms and grass-fed beef and all that kind of stuff. I try not to buy anything that's like grumpy meat. I don't want any sad meat. So we eat the meats. Have you traveled and or would you like to go? Where would you like to go? I have traveled. The farthest I've been is Peru. I went to Peru on a study abroad trip and went to Machu Picchu and all that kind of stuff, and it was a lot of fun. I really want to go to Costa Rica. I really want to see Ireland and Scotland and maybe Europe someday. I don't know. I'd like to go all over the world. All right, so that's all from Instagram. So now let's switch over to Facebook. Okay, so on Facebook, Raylene asks, favorite Walking Dead character of all time. That is hard, girl. Oh, that is hard. I really liked Shane. He's, dead, but I really liked him a lot. He kind of brought like a little bit of drama, and like I like relationship interaction in TV shows, and since now they're getting into more just like the killing and the murdering, which is cool and all, but I liked his dynamic with like, the love triangle. I really miss Herschel. He was like my favorite. I just loved him and like the way that he thought about things, and I just wanted to like pet him. And then this is off topic, but I really want Daryl and Beth to get back together and like explore a little bit more, because I think they should have had a little bit of relationship of brewing, even though I think he's a lot older than her. But I think in apocalyptic times, that's just, life.